we do not quit. We work and produce results because we are tenacious, we are determined, we are competitive. And if that's too aggressive a position for a client, then we ought not be hired by that client.
Integrity and values are not just a piece of paper or guiding principles, but we live it.
Kekst CNC has proven so resilient over the past 50 years because we always start with what the client needs. There's nothing off the shelf, and that doesn't change. It's what's always distinguished us, and it has helped us to be resilient throughout all of the cycles that have occurred over the past 50 years.
We want to lead our industry not by size necessarily, but by the trust that our clients put in us.
We like to say that one of the benefits of being the size we are is that every single person makes a difference. Every single person affects and shapes our culture.
You have to invent the market, you have to shape the market, you have to think ahead all the time. That's really what our founders did. When the company was formed, the industry, the type of company that we are didn't exist.
What we decided to do was, point number one, not be another PR firm. We knew that our area of competency was in the area of financial public relations.
If you're lucky, you'll meet somebody like Gershon once in a lifetime. He was, in my opinion, one of the most unique human beings I ever met.
He distinguished himself by his ability to listen and to apply incredible creativity and insight and judgment to everything that we all did for a living, and to then synthesize just the perfect solution to every problem. In the 80s and 90s, Kekst & Company was focused on what it's always been focused on, which was Gershon's watchword: retain, renew, and expand the scope of services. And what that really meant was that if you do outstanding work, you'll grow.
We also had a practice, which is an unusual one, of hiring people without public relations experience or background. But having that broad base of background and broad base of perspectives, I believe served us well and has served our clients well.
We were with three fairly young men in our mid-20s who thought we had found something out, and that was that the intersection between politics, media and business was going to be a very interesting spot. We took, let's say, the best kind of work ethics, the best kind of attitude from management consulting, from investment banking, and we brought that into communications.
Times weren't very good because there was a recession in Germany. I was based in London. I worked for Ericsson in my function as corporate affairs director. And of course I saw all the companies booming and growing. And Christoph and I had the idea to start the first non-Anglo-Saxon consultancy based in Germany and London.
It was a fascinating time because so many things were changing. And if there's change, there has to be communicated.
We opened the offices and was successful from the first day.
Gershon and I sat down and said, you know, the history of firms like ours is that they do not outlive the founders. what should we do to make sure that Kekst & Company continues to survive after we're no longer running the firm?
JKL was acquired by Publicis in 2002. Kekst was acquired some years later, and then CNC was acquired, and that was the beginning of what is today the merged company.
The 2000-2010s was an incredibly dynamic period for Kekst. We had two things going on. We were making a transition from a founder-led organization to an institutionalized brand, and that meant that we had leaders coming up from all over the organization. The other thing that was happening was in the market. More competition, more capabilities, more in-housing of strategic positioning, and what that meant for us as Kekst was that we were doing more special situations and more complex transactions, crises, restructurings, and other core competencies.
When we approached 2010, 2011, we found that growth was increasingly difficult. So we were looking around for allies. CNC then was a satellite focusing on M&A, and Capital MSL was doing very international business in the Middle East and elsewhere. So it was, by the book, a perfect fit.
Capital MSL had a real strong and growing presence in London and the Middle East. CNC was strong across continental Europe and Germany in particular, and also had a sort of growing presence in Asia. So bringing the firms together immediately meant that we could offer more global advice and more of a worldly view to our clients. Remember, this was at a time when technology was making the world a smaller place, and so it was increasingly important that we were able to match our clients' global ambitions and aspirations as well.
Well, combining Kekst and CNC was actually a natural development. Both firms know each other for many, many years. The people who know each other are still there, and they trust each other.
Ultimately, we were brought together based on what we saw clients wanting and needing.
The previous generation of partners, of course, confronted challenges because they invented the industry and they invented the market. And what's important today is really to think about their approach to doing that, which was always about entrepreneurship. It was always about thinking about what happens next.
There's one thing that makes the firm unique and relevant going forward, and that's the talent that we bring to the table. Our people are the best. They are relentlessly innovative, client-centric, high quality of thinking, flawless execution, day in and day out.
I have a letter on my wall that sums up the essence of the aspiration of Kekst & Company. That letter was written and signed by President Harry S. Truman, and it says, "Public relations cannot be learned except by experience."